This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
What up, this DC Channel Guns. Come listen to another gun video. Appreciate you watching, like, share, and subscribe. I want to appreciate all my subscribers. I want to appreciate all the good information. I appreciate y'all coming to the video. Appreciate all the support and love. Appreciate everything that y'all do for the 2A community. And, you know, like I said before, the number one goal over here to uphold the Constitution, defend the Second Amendment. Now, you know, I'm doing more video and answer more questions that people had, you know, asked about and I've seen and talked about. Now, this video here, we're talking about keeping your magazines loaded. And this is something that, you know, that really concerned me when I first got into guns and stuff like that. And, you know, leaving my magazine loaded for a long time, I was kind of worried with all the information and stuff I had looked at. You know, there's, you know, some great springs and stuff out there, and a lot of these great magazines and stuff, a lot of technology, a lot of companies and stuff. Now, when it comes to springs in your guns, you have to look at your manufacturer of the company of the springs, because you have some of these Korean springs, you know, China springs and stuff that could be in some of these magazines. It might be limited now, but you have to look at some of these springs and, you know, see how thin they are. You have to look at the thickness and the thin of them, because, you know, not all of them are created equal. And, you know, I'm going to show you throughout in the video later on, a little bit in this video, you know, what good quality springs and stuff look like, and, you know, the thickness of them. Now, I had some that was kind of small, thin, and, you know, over time, you know, I could see a difference and stuff. Now, I know I had an older High Point magazine who had some, you know, some not so great springs and stuff in them. I don't know about High Point now; they probably got better springs, but this is long over 10 years ago. High Point, they had some thin springs. I got a video here with a High Point I showed with the springs where I kept it loaded for a long time. It still functioned. The other magazine, it functioned flawless. The other one, you know, had a little issues or whatever. But, you know, just give or take. But, you know, nowadays, I have been doing this for a long time. My AR mags, my gun mags and stuff. A lot of my magazines I keep loaded all the time, you know, for a long time. And some of them been sitting up for years, you know. So I kind of rotate them after a year or so. I get out and shoot and rotate them and stuff like that. And, you know, and then fill them back up. But, you know, now, as far as I looked at now, if you're compressing it over, you know, doing a lot of compressing it over time, possibly that could wear it out. To my seeing so much information, but possibly that could wear it out. But just leaving it compressed, that's where they're pretty much designed. It shouldn't affect most magazines out there. And, you know, I said it shouldn't affect. But, you know, give or take, you might have one that might have issues and the other might not. But that shouldn't be a concern. Most people, you know, leaving their magazines loaded for maybe for a year or so, you should be just fine. But, you know, I know, you know, if you compressing it over time a bunch of times over and over, that'll wear out pretty much anything. So it's kind of hard way to get from that. But as far as me, my magazines, I normally keep them loaded a little over a year or so, rotate through, the spring get compressed, check it out and whatever, load it back up. I really have no problem. A lot of people been storing that for years. You shouldn't be worrying about that. You should be good. But we're going to show you, I usually keep at least 6 magazines loaded most of the time when it comes to handgun and AR. I pretty much do that. And, you know, let's get into the video and show you disassembly of the springs and stuff. So we're going to look at the magazine right quickly. And we have ARP mag, and we have a Glock magazine. So we can just look at that very quickly. And we're going to just show you the spring. So with P mag, you just pull it back like that. Make sure you keep your hand there to release it, and you can see nothing in there. And you can see the springs, how they have the rivets and stuff. You know, you got to check your magazine, make sure you have good springs and stuff. And you see the compression mode right there, the compression. You see how they curve. Each one is curved and they got a certain loop and stuff. So you have to look at that. And, you know, by me keeping my mags loaded, compressed, it has not affected. Now, certain magazine companies, whatever spring they use could be different, could be cheaper. But most of the great magazines have great coils in them. You should have no problem. I've been doing it for years. That was my first thing I was thinking about when I first started leaving my magazines loaded. But I have went test these magazines after having them for years. No problem whatsoever. The only issue I had with magazine, I have a video on it in one of my catalogs, was a High Point magazine I had loaded for years. Probably like 8-9 years. But it still functioned flawless. It had a few problems with the magazine. The other one did pretty good. So that's what you kind of get. So just showing you that. So we're gonna do the Glock magazine. Already here, this assembly too, already did it, make it a little quicker. You just push it, make sure you hold your hand over it so the spring won't come flying out. And once you do that, you pull out the Glock spring. Now, you see the little plate for the Glock right here, you can put that up there. But nothing inside there. So you can see that same kind of loop that you saw in the P mag, that tension, that pressure. Never had no problem with the Glock magazines and stuff. So I'm gonna show you. See, you can see a similar loop. It's almost a similar loop, but it's a little bit different. See, can I get you at an angle to let you see it? And you can see that these coil springs are pretty much the same. And you want that thickness of coil. And if you have coils that's thinner, I had some that was kind of thinner. And it depends on what manufacturer and farm that you have. But most of the good ones pretty much use good spring coil and everything. So you shouldn't have too many problems these days. So it should not be an issue. So I just wanted to go over that with you and everything. So let's get back to the video. So you've seen the video showing you the springs and stuff and handgun and AR magazines and stuff like that. But, you know, I hope that I help give you some little knowledge or whatever. So much information about this out there. Do some, you know, you can continue to do your research on your farm, your magazine, the company and stuff, what they're using and stuff like that. But you shouldn't have no problem. So I hope that I help people out in this video when it comes to, you know, keeping your magazine loaded and everything. Like I said, on the normal, it's up to you. Some people keep 10. I only keep 6. Handgun and AR and stuff like that. Whatever rifle that you have, that's on basic personal preference for you. Whatever you feel comfortable with. So this is DC Channel Guns, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.